Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're all doing really well, and welcome to this bullet for my Valentine lesson. This next one we're doing in the series is Pleasure and Pain from the Fever album. I did a cover of this one a little while ago, so I'll leave a little thing at the top for you, or a link down below so you can go check that out if you want to see it played up to speed. As usual, we're going to take it nice and slow, break all the riffs down, go in order of the song structure itself, and do the solos and the bridge solo right at the end, so rhythm guitars first. So okay, let's get straight into it. So this was one of the first tracks written for Fever, I believe, and it was performed a couple of times before the release, but it was under a different name. It was called Who Do You Think You Are, I believe, and it was exactly the same song, but it just had a completely different set of lyrics. Now, on the Fever album, Bullet moved to a different producer, which was Don Gilmore, and he was kind of aiming for a little bit more of a, I think they were all aiming for more of a sort of a condensed song structure, a little bit more sort of simple, but a little bit more effective and a little bit more punch without having loads and loads of different technical parts. But when they brought this song in, Don absolutely hated it. He hated the riff because it's quite messy. He hated the whole thing, and he hated the vocal lines, and he hated the lyrics. So I think Bullet fought to keep the strong song structure exactly the same. But they just changed the lyrics and got it into something that works a little bit more, and the lyrics flow a lot more, and I think they're a little bit less cheesy than what's on the live performance. I think the one thing that Don was right about was the lyrics kind of didn't fit the song. The phrasing and everything just didn't quite fit. So when he pushed Matt to rewrite the lyrics and get the phrasing a little bit different, it did make a much better song. But the song remained exactly the same structurally, and the solo and stuff like that. So it's got a really cool thrashy riff that is one of my favorites that I've had to really work at to get down over the years. And it's got a really cool melodic solo by Padge going on in there that we'll look at right at the end. So in true Bullet fashion, this song is tuned to a drop C tuning. That's a D standard guitar tuning, and you drop in the low 6th string down to a C. So you'll have C, G, C, F, A, D. Okay? So that's C, G, C, F, A, D. So to start with, we're going to take the intro section, okay? And that's when Matt screams, "Come take the sacrifice," and both guitars, left and right, come in. So this intro is literally where the assignment happens for the guitars left and right. If you don't know what that means, in heavy metal and rock music tracking, usually what you'll do is you'll track 2 guitar parts, sometimes more, but for today's sake, we're doing the 2 guitars that are on this track. You've got a guitar that's panned all the way on the right, so that'll be like your right headphone, and you've got a guitar that's panned all the way to the left, and that'll be like your left headphone. The best way I can explain it is if you've ever been listening to Bullet of My Valentine or similar sort of bands, you've taken an earphone out and a guitar has just completely disappeared. That's because it's hard panned all the way over into the left or the right. And this is where the assignment happens, because there's 2 guitars that are doing this sort of harmony part, this climb in the main riff. You've got one guitar that's going to do the, and you've got another guitar which is going to go, and this is where the assignment happens for which guitar is going to do which part. So let's take a look at the left guitar for the intro first, okay? So it comes in with this riff, and this is all the way on the left, and this is going to do the lower climb, okay? So this one takes place all the way over on the 5th string, and the riff goes like this. Okay, so let's slow that down. So you've got your first finger that's going to be on 3rd fret, 5th string, okay? And you're going to be hammering onto the 5th fret, and sometimes you're going to be hammering over onto the 6th as well, okay? So really slow. That's alternate picked as well. Don't go trying to down pick this one. It's not going to work. This is a thrashy alternate picked with palm muting in between. So it's going to be... Okay, so slow again. Okay, so that climb that happens, it's quite simple. You're going to start with 3 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 10. Okay? And it sounds like there's a hell of a lot more going on than there actually is. So just keep it tight and keep it slow to begin with. I can't tell you how many years I battled with this one for. I had to correct my picking. When I started to do music again seriously, this time last year actually, I had to rebuild my picking to do this sort of thing. So be patient with yourself and go slow. Don't tense up. Keep it all loose. Keep it all in your wrist as well. Do not pick from your forearm. Keep it all from the wrist. If you watch Matt playing this, he's doing it all from his wrist. Okay? Okay, so that riff happens 4 times until we get to the verse. Okay, so that will be played 4 times from Come Take the Sacrifice. You've got a couple of guitar hangs that are going to be happening over on the right, and then the riff goes into full swing with the full drums. That's the other 2 times before the verse. So it's 4 times in total. Okay, so you've got. Okay, so that's your left guitar from the intro to the verse. Okay, the left guitar is going to come in with a couple of hangs first, and that's going to do a higher climb. Okay, that's going to be a harmony part or a counterpoint part to this. Okay, that's going to happen over here. Okay, so to begin with, it just starts off with a hang on the open C. Okay, and you can strum, I guess for a really good full sound, you can strum like the bottom 3 strings there. So you've got C, G, and another C. Okay, so that's the octave higher than the 6th string. Okay, so you've got. Then what happens when the left guitar starts to climb? You're going to join in, but you're going to do this counterpoint. Okay, so it's moving exactly the same way. You're just going to be on a different string with different frets. Okay, you're going to go 2 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 8. Okay, so it's going to be. And I start all those with the down pick and keep it clockwork, alternate picking from there. Okay, and that's going to happen twice. Okay, over the intro. So you've got Come Take the Sacrifice. Okay, that's the first 2 runs of it. After that, the right guitar that we're doing now starts to join in with the left guitar's main riff. And you're going to play exactly the same notes that are happening on the 3 to the 5 and the 6 that's going on here. Okay, the tail part or the climb is going to be on the 4th string that we've been doing so far. Okay, so you've got. Okay, so all in all, from the beginning, guitar on the right will be doing this. Okay, and that's your intro guitars. Okay. With this main riff, I guess for the main 3/5 and when you go to the 6 thing, I guess just keep it slow, keep it clockwork, keep it alternate picked, and yeah, just slow the track down. I say this in every single one of my lesson videos. Slow this video down, yeah. You're gonna hear me talking really slow, like I'm drunk or something in between, yeah. But you know, if you need to see me play this slower, if you just slow this track down, or go watch my cover video as well. Slow that down as well, and just play along to it. Okay, so I'll play that main sort of riff again. And that's where you can put your climb of your choosing on. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's the same here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's really hard to say and play at the same time. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how it's climbing. Guitar on the left. Okay, so that's your intro guitars, and that main riff is going to serve you for the rest of the song. So if you make sure that you've got that down, because it is going to appear again, make sure you're happy with it now before you move on, as it's going to help you out through the verse section and when the riff comes around again. It's going to be a variation on that riff. It's a little bit more start-stop, and it allows the vocals to breathe a little bit more. It's going to run through sort of 4 times if you think of it like that, but there is a couple of things in there that might catch you out. The guitars left and right are going to be doing the same assignment for the climbs, because they do happen again throughout the verse. So you've got the left guitar, which is going to be doing the lower. You've got the right guitar that's going to be doing the... Okay, so let's have a look at the left guitar first. Okay, so it's similar, but it's a lot more start-stop. It goes something like this. And it ends there with a hang. Let's slow that down. I know I fluffed it at the end there, but you get the idea. Just one thing to watch out for: on the 3rd run of it, they're going to do this slide down, okay, on the strings. How do we do that? Just pick a fret, not too high, nothing crazy up here. Just keep it sort of local, around like 8, 10, I suppose. And just pick the low 6 string and just... and slide down, yeah? Make sure you allow yourself as much time as possible to get back into the riff, because it is fast, okay? So here's the riff again, nice and slow. So it ends with that hammer on right there. And let that hang. At the end of that hang, you'll hear it come in. Use the track, have it sat with you now. There's a pick slide that happens, which takes us into the chorus section. Okay, how do we pick slide? The best way to get the most out of that is just take the side of your pick, yeah, and run it down a string that's got windings. Okay, that's how you're gonna get the... That's how you're gonna get the really sort of nasty sound that a pick slide has, yeah? So a string with windings is always good. I'm sort of dampening off here with my left hand, Okay, so I've not got a load of... I don't want that open at the end of it. What I do want, on the other hand, is just quiet and let the pick slide generate all the noise, yeah? Just like that. Like I said, strings with windings will work the best for this one. So, you know, your 6th and your 5th, or your 5th and your 4th even, you know. And I sort of get it in the middle there and run it down. So I get it in the middle of the strings. Okay? And I start sometimes all the way back at the bridge as well. That helps because I've got enough room to move down and then you can come onto the fretboard. So that's the best way I've found to get a pick slide. Okay? So that is your guitar that's happening all the way on the left. Okay? I'll play it through once more for you. Okay, then what you're going to do is stick your hang at the end. Slide. Okay, so that's your guitar that's on the left. The guitar on the right is going to do exactly the same thing, precisely with the hang at the end and the pick slide and the main sort of stop-start riff. But when you do the climb, that is going to be on the 4th string and climb up exactly like we did earlier in the main riff, okay? So I'll play it slowly for you. Okay, so that's your guitar on the right. So they're both doing pretty much the same thing. Your climb is in a different place on different frets and different strings. That's the only thing to watch out for there. So yeah, again, that riff, just make sure that you're stopping on that hammer-on. Right there. And then you put in the notes in between, yeah? Not to quote Kirk Hammett, right? But make sure that you watch out for the notes in between and make sure they don't fuck with you, right? So I hope you all get that joke. Just watching out for those notes that happen between the climb. Yeah? Yeah? As always, use a metronome, slow the track down. I promise you'll get it over time. Just keep it slow and build your way up from there. So that's your verse guitars. So make sure you're happy with that, because the verse that happens the second time round, or the second verse I should say, is precisely the same thing. So now what happens is we move into the chorus. So chorus number 1, it's quite a simple, straightforward thing, which I think they were going for on this album. This happens a couple of times with the choruses. It leads in with an octave guitar, okay? And you're going to have first finger, 5th fret, and then you're going to skip a string with your pinky or your 3rd finger, whichever one you're more happy with. I use my pinky so I can keep my fingers as flat as possible. We've talked about this before. And you've got a D position power octave chord, if you like, even though we're tuned down, but it's a D position if you were in standard. So it's 5th fret, and then your pinky or 3rd finger is going to be on 7th fret of the 3rd string, okay? Best way to get an octave chord, we've talked about this before. Keep your fingers as flat as possible so they're muting the strings that are in between and around, so you don't hit those by accident. If you look at that, my fingers are coming over to mute the 6th string here. My first finger is taking care of the note in the middle that we're not going to be playing, okay? And then my pinky is lying flat enough to kill the notes that are underneath it, the 2nd and the 1st string, okay? So you should end up with something that looks like this. Okay, not Yeah? Okay, you want to kill every single note. And if possible, try and keep your strumming as tight as possible, so you're not even hitting those strings. I'm keeping my fingers flat as possible as like an insurance policy, just in case I do hit them by accident, because it is quite a loose strumming pattern. But try and keep it tight enough so that you're not having to not even strumming those strings. Yeah, so you've got this. Okay, that's the strumming pattern. Starts off with a down. Okay. And it's ending with a down. And then it moves over to this G position power chord on the 3rd fret, okay, which is on the 6th string and the 5th. Okay, so you've got then back to your power chord. Then I see Matt playing this up here on the live performances, so that's what we're going to go with today. You could do it with bigger chords down the bottom here, but I've seen him doing it here. He goes to 7th fret and then 8th. Okay, so that's the first run of the chorus. In case I didn't mention earlier, this is both guitars left and right for this, so no harmony part or anything like that. It's nice and easy, both guitars. Okay, then it comes around again. This time, at the end of that, you're going to swap your chords out and you're going to do 8 and 10. And then back into the main riff, okay? So the chorus, left and right guitars from the beginning, nice and easy. Okay, and that's your chorus. Dead simple, just don't overthink it. Just follow my strumming on that one, follow the record, and use your ear. It's the best tool you have. And yeah, and just go for it with that one. It's quite an easy one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move into the post-chorus. The good news is that's just the main riff played through twice. Okay, so you've already done it. Just play it through twice, literally at each guitar doing what it was doing in the intro guitars. So you've got guitar on the left, which is taking care of the lower climb. Guitar on the right, which is doing the higher climb. Okay, so just play that riff through twice, as is. That takes us through into verse number 2. Good news is, like I said earlier, it's exactly the same as verse number 1. Just watch out on the 3rd time round when it comes round, you put your slide in. Okay, so you've got... Okay, at the end of that, make sure you do your hangs on each guitar, followed by your pick slide, and that takes us into chorus number 2. So chorus number 2 is pretty much the same as chorus number 1, but you're going to repeat the ending chords over it when he says nothing in between. Just follow my lead. It's dead simple. You're just going to repeat the chords. So it goes exactly the same from the start with the octave and your G position. So it starts like this. And this is both guitars left and right. Okay, so That's exactly the same. You're just repeating these at the end, the 10s and the 8s. Okay, so I'll play that through once more for you. Okay, and that is chorus number 2. Nice and easy, yeah? So just watch out for that repeating of the power chords at the end, otherwise you're going to find yourself completely out of sync for when we get to the bridge rhythm, okay? So the pre-solo rhythm, it's nice. It's a really cool riff, actually, and under the solo rhythm as well. It's both guitars left and right doing exactly the same thing, which is good news for all of us, so you're not having to worry about variations and stuff. This is really cool. I like it. So it goes something like this. Okay, so that's your sort of pre-solo rhythm section where the Thin Lizzy Iron Maiden guitars are kind of hanging out doing their counterpoint harmony guitar part going on there. So how does this go? I'm actually hammering on there. I'm actually just hammering on to the G position. Whether he picks it or not, I'm not quite sure. But you could hammer it, or you could strum it if you want it a little bit more aggressive. It's up to you on that one. I think I'm just, me being me, I'm doing a mixture of both, depending on how I feel. It doesn't really matter as long as you get the note out. So it goes. After that, he goes to this C power chord right here, C position, on the 5th and the 4th string. Okay, so you've got. Okay, so make sure you move your fingers down in time. After that runs through again, stick this at the end of it. Okay, that's a B flat power chord right there. So you've got 1 and 3, and then coming back up to the C, and it's all with down picks right there, and that's par muted. Okay, and that happens twice. Okay, that entire section. So I'll run it through again for you. Okay, and that takes you through into the main solo. So the solo section is really cool again. It's left and right guitars, again, nice and simple, nice and effective, and it goes something like this. And that is your solo rhythm guitars left and right. Let's slow it down. It's all with down picks, okay, for the main sort of rhythm chugging parts, okay? So you've got, and I'm accenting that. I'm coming off and on with my palm muting. After that, after he goes to G right there, rather than going back to the open, he goes to this C power chord right here. It's a D position, but that is another C. Okay, so he's just shaking it up there. So rather than going back to the, he's bringing it up. It's the same notes, okay? So it's a classic Matt thing. He's just shaking it up right there. So you've got... Then what he does is he goes down to this A right here. Now you could play those there like we were doing earlier if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. They are the same notes, okay? For argument's sake, I'll switch it back now because this is what we were doing in the chorus, because it is quite similar, okay? So he's doing 7 to 8. When he goes on to 8, he hangs on it. Okay? Then it comes back round again. So all together from the beginning. Then it comes back round again. When it gets to that point now, we're going to swap back to the outro chords of the chorus that we were doing earlier, this 8 and 10 right here. So you've got... And he strums that open at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so he's going to go... Okay, so he's got his down pick on to begin with, and then the 10 is actually strummed open without palm mutes even. Okay, so let's put all that together now. Okay, so the entirety of the rhythm section, guitars left and right, exactly the same thing. For the solo would be this. Okay, so that's pretty much it, and it was as close as I've got it anyway to the actual record. Okay, what happens after that, post solo, is the left guitar is going to start playing the main riff again. Okay, so it plays it through one time. So coming out of the solo rhythm, left guitar goes back into the... Then climbs, and that takes us into chorus number 3. Okay, so and again. Okay, the guitar on the right is doing some chugs, and then what happens when guitar on the left starts to climb, the guitar on the right does its assigned climb that we did earlier, which is on the higher. Okay, so you've got this coming out of the solo. Okay, and that's what the guitar on the right's doing. And again, it's just chugging with down picks. Then it joins in. Then we arrive at chorus number 3. Okay, so guitar on the left coming out of the solo. Okay, use the track for the feel on that one and the rhythm of it. It's quite straightforward. Okay, then what happens is we're into chorus number 3. Chorus number 3 is exactly the same thing, okay, but it just starts with the guitar on the left doing the octave, right? And at the end, there's just a couple more strums going on the 8 and 10 where we finish up, because Matt starts repeating the whole and nothing in between thing a couple of times, okay? Starts getting really pissed off there, right? So the final chorus would look like this. Starts off with the left guitar on its own, and then the right guitar joins in. So right guitar cuts out after the climb. Left guitar comes in, and then the band comes in. And that is your left guitar for that part, okay? The right guitar actually breaks off right at the end on those chords and does some octaves that we'll get to in a minute, okay? But however, let's just take one quick look at what the left guitar is doing there again. So this is the guitar that's leading us into the chorus, okay? So it's exactly the same thing, just add these on the end when he's repeating, okay? And then it goes back into the main riff for the outro. Okay, so all together. Okay, so that's your guitar on the left. Guitar on the right, when it goes on to the last run of the... it breaks off and does octaves, okay, on the last, nothing in between, okay? And what that does is this. So it's the same octave chord shape that we were doing for the start of the chorus, but you're going to do that over on the 8th and the 10th. So first finger 8, pinky 8, 10, and then it goes up to 10 and 12, okay? And that does this. Okay? So just stick that on right at the end, okay? So I'll play it through for you now. So this is your guitar on the right. Starts off with no octave, and then it comes in when the full band comes in on the G position power chord right there, okay? So it's gonna be, you don't bring me... And that's your guitar on the right for the chorus. Nice and simple. Just make sure on that third run of these, instead of the 8 and 10, you're going to do the octaves instead. Okay, then what happens for the outro? You're just going to do the main riffs, left and right, exactly as they are with the assignment for the climb, 4 times over, okay? But this time, all you do is you just end on the... right at the end, you're going to end on an open there just for closure. Okay, so left guitar and right guitar are going to play it through exactly as they would. I'll just do the left guitar now for argument's sake, and then it ends with a open at the end. So coming out of chorus number 3. And that's it. So after you climb, open right there. And the left guitar follows suit 4 times round, and at the end of its final, open. And that's it. And that's all your rhythm guitar parts for Pleasure and Pain. That's actually one of the simpler ones, believe it or not, structurally. Just the main riff there, just I've been saying it right the way through the lesson video, just keep it slow. Yeah, and make sure you get all your hammer-ons in the right place. And if you keep the alternate picking in its place, and you always start the first lead in with a 3 to the 5 hammering with a down, everything else is going to go swimmingly for you in terms of smoothness. You're not going to be worried about when the climb starts, okay? If you start every one of those, if you start each one of those with a down, by the time you get to there, that last one is an up pick there if you've been doing all those lead-ins with a down. That makes it nice and easy to go down for the... Yeah? So just watch your picking on that one. Always start with the down. So if you set yourself up, the climb that happens that seems to go at 1,000,000 miles an hour, digga 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 digga. If you, by that point, if you've led in with the down, your last pick for that part of the riff is going to be an up. So that lets you go in with the down for the climb. So if your last pick is an up, unless something drastically wrong has happened in the middle, you've done it right, okay? And you should smoothly be able to go into the... with no problem at all, starting off with the down, okay? So that's all your rhythm guitar parts for Pleasure and Pain. Let's have a look at the pre-solo and the main solo itself. So the pre-solo solo, or the bridge solo, or the Iron Maiden Thin Lizzy type harmony part, is a little bit similar to what's going on in my Alone lesson. If you've watched that one, it moves quite similarly, and it's the same sort of thing going on, where you'll have one guitar on its own, and then the second time it runs through, the harmony guitar comes over the top of it. So let's just start with what's happening first. So live, Matt will break off and do this one, and Padge will keep on with the rhythm part. Okay, and then what happens when the counterpoint comes in, Padge will break off from the rhythm, and they will both do that Iron Maiden style together in a live situation, okay? But on the track itself, the rhythm guitar carries on right underneath, and you've learned that already. So this is how it starts. So you've got... Nice and easy. Just slide in here. I believe he slides in anyway, onto the 7th fret, 3rd string. Give it a little bit of vibrato there, spice it up a bit. Then he's doing 1st finger, 5th fret, hammer to 6, and then landing back on our pedal point here, which is the 7th fret on the 3rd string, okay? So he's going to go... On that run of it, he's going to do 3rd fret on the 5th string instead. Okay, so you've got... Okay. Then it comes around again, but no lead in this time with the 7th fret. Okay, so it's going to go... So once it gets to that end point, you're going to do 5, 6 on the 1st string, and then you're going to do 5 on the 2nd string. Okay? So altogether, that's this. Straight into it again. Once more. Okay, and that happens twice. Okay, so it just repeats itself. On the second run of that, that's where Paggio's part live, anyway, will come in, and that's the higher harmony or counterpoint, however you want to refer to it, okay? And that looks something like this. Okay, so what he's doing there, I had to slide him with my middle finger. He's going to slide on the 3rd string up to 10th fret, okay? And you're going to go, and it moves similarly now, okay? But instead of doing the over the 2 frets, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to do 8 to 10, okay? I do 8 with my 1st finger and 3rd finger for 10. And that's why I was keeping my 3rd finger available there on the slide in. Okay, and I'm pedaling off of 10th fret on the 3rd string this time, okay? So when it gets to that point, you're going to do 9th. Okay, so all together. Then it repeats. When you get to that part, you're going to double pick, you're going to pick again, and you're going to go 10, 11, 10, 11, and then finish off on 9th fret of the 3rd string. Okay, so all together, real slow. Okay, and that is your bridge solo, both parts, okay? And that takes us forward into the main solo, okay? So I've got the solo split up into 4 sections here, okay? So we've got section 1 that's got double stops with the wah pedal on. I think the wah pedal's on for quite a lot of this, for this solo. So you've got the double stops that are going to build up. Section 2 has got like a pentatonic lick going on with it, okay? Section 3 has got this sort of Van Halen, Iron Maiden kind of lick going on with it. And section 4 has got the modal diatonic run that builds up the neck. So I've broke it all down into sections. Paggio's solos are great to pick apart because he composes them in sections. And you can tell that he'll pick this lick with this lick with this lick. It's almost like he gets his favorite tab books out and he picks all his favorite licks from them that he's learned over the years. And he composes solo literally out of those licks. I'm not saying he's not being creative there or anything like that, but a lot of the licks that he does, it is sort of like this lick, this lick, this lick. They kind of go move one to the other. Each one showcases like a different technique, I suppose you could say. So this one is very typical Pagg. There's a lot of stuff in there that he's done a lot right the way through his career. This is the Fever album, so this is the 3rd album. This is where he started to play a little bit faster again. So you'll find on this album he starts branching out a little bit more compared to what he was doing on Scream Aim Fire. A lot of the solos on Scream Aim Fire sort of followed a similar formula. This one is a little bit more edgy, a little bit more bluesy, I guess you could say, and it's really fun to play. So let's get into it. So it starts off with these double stops, and the wah pedal is on for this, okay? And he's going to go... Okay, so what that is he's got a 1st finger over on the 10th fret, 3rd finger over on the 13th fret, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to pick them together, but have your middle finger right here on 12 behind 13. We're not going to be playing that, but that's going to help you bend the string, okay? That's your support there. If you've not got that, it's going to be a nightmare for you to bend, and that's going to happen, right? It's inevitable. So pick those together, and what your aim is here is to bend this note here that we're bending on the 2nd string to the pitch of this, where our 1st finger is over on 10th fret. So you're going to pick them together. And they're both at the same pitch now. Keep your 1st finger where it is. Keep your thumb over the neck. I say this in every lesson. If your thumb's not over the neck, That's going to happen. That's your anchor point, okay? And you're going to go, okay? So you're bending your third finger, that note there, 13th fret, up to the pitch where we are on 10th fret, and keep your first finger there. Don't let it move. Don't let it bend. So you're going to go. Then what you're going to do is you're going to move that forward. So you'll have 12 and 15. Okay, and then move that forward 1. Okay, so you've got... And you can sort of let it down in between. Okay. So our last one we're ending on there is going to be 13 and 16, okay? So you've got... That's very Page, that's very Kirk Hammett, that's very Stevie Ray Vaughan, that's all his influences there, that's where he's got that from. So, when you let that down now, the last one, you're going to pick 13 on the second string, okay? So you're going to have... Okay? After that, you've got this bend lick. Okay? So that's 15. Get your fingers behind it. They're going to help you push that up. Keep your thumb over the neck. Okay? And you're going to do 2 bends out of that. When you let it down, pull off. Keep your 13. Okay? Where your first finger was. Keep that there because you're going to be pulling off to it. And then pick back onto 15 again. Okay? So that's... Okay? So you've got... So altogether that's... Okay? So that is the first part of section 1. And I've kind of included this next part into section 1 just to keep it all together as one run. But so far you've got... And again. Then what you've got is a very typical Page thing when it comes to guitar solos. You've got this lick. So that lick is, you're going to pedal now off of your 15th fret with your middle finger. That's where I want you to put that. And that's going to stay there now. Put your first finger on 13th fret, first string, and you're going to go. I do this with a down-up pick. Once you've got that, you're going to do your pinky onto 17th fret of the first string. Then back to your 13. Then you're going to have 15 and 15. So far you've got... Okay? Okay? Then at the end of that, you're going to do 12 to 13. Just pick them. So 12, 13, 12. Then you're going to do this. You're going to do pick 13 on the second string, slide up to 15, and then back to 13. So altogether that is... Then, with my first finger, I do 12 to 10 on the third string. Okay, so that is... And I sort of slide up to 12 and then back to 10. So I pick 10, slide up to 12, and then back to 10. A little bit like what we were doing here with the 13 and the 15. So it's... Okay, so that little section altogether would be... I'm shaking the hell out of that, okay, at the end. Okay, so all together, section 1. Okay, and that is section 1. Section 2 is going to be a C minor pentatonic lick that kind of repeats itself. Okay, and then there's some bends going on as well. So that's going to be this. So you're going to have this. So you've got... At the end of that, you've got a great big bend that's going to happen. You're going to get your third finger up to 15th fret. And when you get back down, you're going to do 2 of them. You're going to do the 2 bends, all from one pick, and you're going to let it down. Pull that off to 13. And slide back to 12. Okay, nice and easy. Okay, so all together, that's section 2. So you've got the pentatonic lick, followed by that big bend and the slide and the pull. Okay, so all together, you've got this. Okay, so that is your section 2. Then what you've got is section 3, which is this really nice sort of Iron Maiden kind of lick that's going on. And you've got... Okay, so what's happening there is you've got your first finger on 12, and you're going to pick that and you're going to give it a bit of a bend. Okay, and you're going to go back to the 13th on the 2nd string, and then back to 12. So you're going to go... Then you're going to do 12 on the 3rd string. So you've got... And when you get to 12, you're going to slide down to 10, slide down to 9. So you've got... Okay? Once you get down to 9 there, you're going to pick again and do a half step bend. The middle finger drops onto 10th fret of the 4th string, slide up to 12. So all together. And again. And again. And that is section 3, okay? Now it ends on section 4, which is your modal diatonic run right here. It goes something like this. Okay, so you've got a bit of a stretch to begin with, but it is just sort of following patterns. So if you know your Aeolian shapes or your natural minor shapes for this tuning, that's going to help you out massively with this climb because you are literally following patterns. I don't want to do a plug here, but I do guitar lessons that are via Zoom. If modes is something that you're interested in learning about, or hell, even like bar chords, it's not just heavy metal that I teach. I teach, you know, people of all ages. If it's something that you're interested in, just go over to my website, drop me an email, and yeah, we'll see what we can do. But I do have stuff on modes that makes it a little bit more clearer, and I give my understanding of it that I've gained over the years. So yeah, shameless plug there, but if you are struggling with that sort of thing, just reach out and we'll see what we can do. So this sort of thing is an Aeolian mode climb, okay? Or a minor natural mode climb. That makes it a little less scary, okay? And you're going to start off by going on the 2nd string. It's just 2nd string to 1st string patterns repeating. So you've got 2nd string, you've got 11, 13, 15. And I do that with my first finger, middle finger, pinky, okay? Because I am going to be moving up. And you're going to go down, up, down. Then what I've got is 12, 12, 13, 15. Okay? So the only thing you've got to watch out for there is just moving your finger up a fret for when you come onto the next string. So it's 11, 13, 15, 12, 13, 15. Okay, then it moves forward, and you're going to go 13, 15, 17, same pattern for each string now, okay? That's parallel. Okay, so you've got stretch, parallel, another parallel, so same pattern for each strings. You've got 15, 17, 18. Okay, so far. And the last one is another parallel again. So same pattern for each string. You can have 17, 18, and oh my god, 20? Yeah, 20. So you've got once you get there to 20th fret, make sure your thumb's over this. You're going to do a big bend. And put a little bit of a shake on there as well if you like, okay? Full step bend on the first string, okay? So altogether that's... Okay, and there's your guitar solo. So let's have a look at each section together now. I'm going to play the whole thing through for you, nice and slow. If you want to see it played up to speed, just go on my channel and watch it. Yeah, this is not about me showing off or anything like that for you guys. This is about breaking it down so it's nice and slow, so you get each and every section, yeah, going at your pace, nice and slow. So I'm going to play the whole thing through now if I can, yeah, and yeah, just so you've got it and maybe be able to connect those sections together once you've got them down, okay? So here we go. Okay, and again. There you go, guys. That's the solo. Just keep it slow. Go with me on the sections. Learn each section. Make sure you're happy with each one. Then try and play along to my thing at the end or slow the actual track down. That's going to help you out loads. And yeah, just keep it slow. It's not the most difficult page solo, but it is quite fast and quite fast-paced. So yeah, so just as always, just keep it slow and go from there. So yeah, thanks for hanging out today, guys. I hope you learned something from this song, and even if you knew it already, you know, I hope there's something in there that, you know, you might not have known about, or something that's made it easier for you to play. Okay, And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for your comments, your support. Come follow me on Instagram for updates and stuff like that all over on there. And if you're new here, please feel free to leave a like and even subscribe. So until the next video, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, whatever it is. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys. Take care.